She-Hulk Episode 4 dropped yesterday on Disney+, and this will be my spoiler review of the episode. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. This is a spoiler warning for She-Hulk Episode 4. So going through the events of the episode opens with Donnie Blaze, Donnie Blaze's magic act, where he sends his assistant to a different dimension with like these goblins and stuff like that. Now, if you are familiar with Ghost Rider, the name of the character for Ghost Rider is Johnny Blaze, but this magician's name is Donnie Blaze, which is really funny to me because it just seems like that they named this character Donnie Blaze so that when they showed the sign that said Donnie Blaze in the trailer for She-Hulk, that it was just going to throw people off into thinking that it actually said Johnny Blaze and that we might see Ghost Rider in this series. I mean, it could still be kind of a hint and a nod that we might see Ghost Rider, but I mean, if anything, I just think it's going to be a funny throwaway thing to mislead people from the trailer. So I did think that was pretty funny. So the assistant reappears in front of Wong at Carmertage, and she's still drunk or her character in general is kind of just ditzy, but she says that she had to make a bargain with a talking goat to send her back in exchange for 6 drops of blood. So Wong then goes to see Jen about Donnie Blaze using mystic arts as a part of like his magic act and stuff, and he wants to take legal action against him to stop because whoever uses mystic arts aren't supposed to be using them in that way. So meanwhile, Jen created a dating profile on an app that is clearly mocking Tinder, which I thought was pretty funny too, and she talks about it with Nikki at a bar after work. The next day, She-Hulk and Wong then show up to give a cease and desist to Johnny Blaze. And there's, these funny moments where he's like doing these kind of subpar magic tricks and stuff like that. And he's trying to make his case that he can use the mystic arcs all he wants. So presumably that night, Jen goes on a bad date with this weirdo that she met through the app. And there's a funny moment where it looks like he's going to offer to pay at the same time for the dinner as her. But then it shows that he was really grabbing his keys and not his wallet. So he was grabbing his keys to leave. Honestly, with that note as well, this episode, in my opinion, was a lot funnier. I definitely enjoyed the comedy a lot more in this episode. I don't know if the series just had to, like, settle in and set itself up for me, but a lot of the comedy, and especially the first 2 episodes, wasn't hitting as much for me. Episode 3 was better than the first 2, and now episode 4 is definitely my favorite so far. It's definitely getting better and better, especially so with the comedy with each episode for me. So we then get the court scene between Jen, Wong, and Donnie Blaze, where they teleport Madison in to testify, who was the girl that was the assistant from the beginning. So she says that she made a pact with a demon to escape, but she can't talk about the details, otherwise the demon would reap her soul and the souls for all she loves. So a lot of people have speculated that this could have been Mephisto, which is basically Marvel's devil, if there ever was one. That is what Mephisto is. But if anything, I just find it to be kind of like a joke towards the extreme speculation towards Mephisto being in WandaVision back when WandaVision first aired, which it wasn't unjustified, obviously. There were a lot of Easter eggs and hints towards Mephisto potentially being in WandaVision, but obviously everybody just kind of ran with it. So I honestly think this is just them playing with the audience, that it could be Mephisto, it could not, it could just be a talking goat, but either way it was pretty funny. So Jen changes her dating profile to instead have pictures of her as She-Hulk instead of, her. And she gets way more matches as a result, which is funny. And then she ends up going on several dates and takes a doctor back home with her when suddenly Wong teleports to her because he needs her help containing a bunch of demons summoned by Donnie Blaze in an attempt to entice his magic audience. And honestly, I was really surprised. This is probably one of the reasons why it's a better episode for me too, was because there was actually a decent amount of action in it in this scene. And the CGI in this action scene was somehow a lot better than the rest of the show. I don't even think that a lot of the pieces in the show, the CGI is bad. There are some moments where I'm kind of like, okay, but a lot of it really isn't that bad. But the CGI in the fight scene was like really, really good in my opinion. It looked way better than anything else. So I don't know if it's just because that was what people were focusing on, the VFX artists, when they were working on it, or what. But I definitely think that entire fight sequence was really good to see and really cool. So after the fight, the guy back at Jen's place ends up staying the night, but in the morning he leaves when he sees her in her non-She-Hulk form, which, you know, is kind of like a sad revelation for Jen. It was obviously a little funny, but it was also depressing at the same time. And then in the post-credit scene, it shows Wong and Madison on the couch at Comertage watching a show and asking each other questions now that it seems like they really are besties. So that was obviously funny too. And obviously the normal episode ends with She-Hulk being served because she's using the name She-Hulk when it was apparently just copyrighted by Titania for some type of brand or something, because Jen didn't think to copyright it first before her. Overall, with this episode though, I definitely think the series is getting better, and I like the direction that they're going with it. I do hope that we see some type of like main antagonistic figure in the series as we go forward. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be Titania, but I don't think it actually is, because Titania does seem like an antagonist, but not like an actual threat as far as violence goes. Obviously, it's unclear on who sent the Wrecking Crew to attack her at the end of episode 3 in an attempt to get her blood too. So really, it remains to be seen. I honestly don't think Titania was the one who sent the Wrecking Crew, but we're going to have to find out. I honestly think it could be the leader, honestly, from the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. We'll see if they bring him back as well. Granted, because it's a Hulk show, I feel like it would make more sense than anybody else. And he was also kind of obsessive over the gamma blood in the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. So comment down below if you enjoyed She-Hulk episode 4. I'm definitely enjoying the series more. And if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content, and I appreciate you for watching the video.